All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Mr. McLogan, and today is another open live Q&A. And it almost was not going to be an open live Q&A. I actually wrote off the next 2 weeks just to be like, take a break from the open live Q&A. Majority of students are not in classes, so I was like, you know what? There's probably just not going to be a lot of questions going on. Probably a lot of students are like, I am checked out of school. I don't have anything for you. Thank you so much. But then I kind of realized I actually got an email from a student. It's like, hey, could you really go over this question? And I was like, dang it. You know what? I always feel like there's an obligation on my end to always be able to be there for you guys, to help you for your studies, no matter where you are. Because I understand, even if you've already taken your finals, and maybe you've already, are done for the break. There's those of you that maybe still have some classes going on, or some of you that are going to be, you know what, I still want to like improve my grade. I still want to further my understanding. I still have some questions for you. So I decided on this Sunday, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hop back in because I, it's been a hard year for me being consistent on the live streams. It was a lot easier when I had, I think, one child, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go live at 9. And then I did live at 9 for like, I think, a whole year. And then it was a little bit more difficult. Then I did live at 7 or at 8, or, I did different time periods all throughout the year. And then now I have 3 young kids, and my schedule is completely unpredictable. So it's always difficult to be able to, make sure that I can confirm that a live stream is going to be going on. And I have a little Christmas Eve celebration coming on after this live stream, so I do have kind of a hard stop. But I also have a backlog of over 100 questions that students have sent me. And one thing I've started doing is making some of those questions into videos, which you guys will start seeing on my channel. I posted one previously, but those questions are not just going to be, or those problems are not just going to be on just on the main channel. I still want to make sure I'm going over them for you guys on this live stream as well. So where is my pen? There's my pen. That's what I was looking for. So yeah, I still wanted to be like, you know what? I still love answering questions. I still love having you guys on the live stream, talking to you guys, answering any questions. So if you do have anything urgent or any math questions, then make sure you go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, which is right up there. And then if you have any just general questions, feel free to pop them in. Arif, I'm actually going to go back over your question. I actually made that into a video. And then, but I'm also, one thing I actually have started doing is I'll actually even share this with you guys. For any of you guys that are interested, I have quite a few of them, but all these math problems, the reasons that I like, the reason why I started my math channel was I wanted to create the largest library of math tutorials. And, obviously when in the classroom, it was very easy. Like whatever I was teaching, I just made into a video. I didn't put any much effort into it. I just made the video. And so on these live streams, that's also what I've been doing now. I'm putting them slowly on a other channel, and then I kind of stopped because it got I was taking away time from my main channel. But I just started back up. So all the problems that you guys are seeing on these live streams, I take them from the live streams and I also put them up on this other channel. For those of you that are interested, that would be like, what is he talking about? I maybe like to see this channel. I will post it on here for you guys. And actually, I got to put it down below on my channel. I actually got to make it so you guys can go and see it. But I'll go and submit a link here real quick so you guys can go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and switch. See, what is this? No, not that one. Oh, sorry about that. All right, let's go and see. Well, hello. And hey, BB8BB. King was out, small yours. Let's gather here. Yes, awesome. Everybody working. I love going through there. This is interesting. It's an old research account I had. Let's put it, where is that? There it is. So small YouTubers, as you're working into there. So this is a channel that is a small YouTuber channel, right? So you might think, oh, you already have like 1 million subscribers, blah, blah, blah. Like that's, so cool and whatever else. But yes, I also have multiple other channels that are all right around 1,000 or less. And actually this channel right here, if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, is less than 100 subscribers. So I am all in the nitty gritty with, no, where's, there we go. So I actually haven't even made a banner yet on it. So I've actually been a little lazy on it. So I do apologize for that. So, but anyways, if you guys are interested, on checking that out, I actually I got a lot of work on that. So far, I've just been uploading a lot of my videos. But anyways, if you guys are interested, or at least be a subscriber, if you just like math content and a lot of these videos, I mean, I haven't done it, but I've probably solved easily over 1,000 math problems on here. So you're going to get a wide variety of every single kind of topic. And if you just like math or are interested in that kind of stuff, then you can subscribe to that, new channel. It's all it is snippets of these live streams when I go through your guys' math content. So that's all it is. It's designed basically to attract, people that are looking to further understand or improve their math understanding on a wide variety, not just hyper focused on like algebra 2 or calculus, but are just looking for a variety of questions that can help them with their mathematical understanding. And that's, why I created that channel. And that's why I like doing these live streams with you guys. Will you look? Yes. Yes, I'll try to get to some of your questions. I knocked down actually 8 of them. So I'm going to try to get to 8 questions. So if you are one of those questions, let me know. If not, you might need to resubmit. I'm pretty sure I got to everything from last week. But let me know if not. Hey, Gabe, good to have you on. There you are. I got all A's on my exams and did my first half marathon yesterday. That's awesome. I am actually very jealous of you. One of my goals in my life is to run actually a full marathon. And I have a bad back. I have bad knees. So I got some obstacles I need to overcome, and I need to get back into some better shape to be able to get into training for a marathon, nevertheless, even a half marathon. But that actually is one of my goals I have not crossed off in my life. So I'm hoping to get there. So thank you. That gives me some inspiration. I'm like, I can do this. Do you use OBS? I love your live stream setup. No, I do not use OBS. I actually use Ecamm. So I run everything on a Mac. And I think when OBS first came out, I think it was only Windows. I think they might have a Mac version now. And I tried OBS. I think I ran OBS I think they do use Mac or Windows both. I don't know. I think Ecamm originally maybe was Mac only. They might have a Windows now. I'm not really 100% sure, but yeah, I don't know. I like the Ecamm kind of setup from on there, and I like their versions of everything else they have. So I've been thinking about testing out some other applications as well, but Ecamm has always been really good to me. So I'm not sure if the grass is always greener on the other side. RF. No. Araf. You have never corrected me. Never. So now I know it's Araf. Araf. And thank you so much, because I think I've literally said your name incorrectly every single time that you said that. And I guess I maybe should introduce, teacher speak, which I'd always say in the classroom, like, hey, I'm going to go through roll. If I mispronounce your name, or if you'd like to be or if you'd like me to call you in a different name, then please make sure you let me know now. I'll try to make some notes. Unfortunately, I don't have a piece of paper, a roll to be able to correct my notes, but Aroff, now I'm trying not to look at it, Aroff, I will try to remember that for next time. And I do apologize. Even you would think for how many years I've been teaching and how many different students' names I have said, I still get them all the wrong. So please don't take it personally. I get even some more very, very basic names incorrectly spoken. So I apologize for that. But Aroff, and let me confirm that I'm still pronouncing that right. That's a good one. Why no product rules for integrals? I don't know. I'd have to go back through and look through the rules for the calculus. Sorry, it's been a little bit long for me talking on calculus. You've helped me so much these past couple of years, not only with school, but my personal interest in learning more. I'm now in 10th grade. Well, awesome. I'm so happy to be able to help you out. Thanks, Alaska. Appreciate that. Can you do a video about logarithms? I actually have a course that's going to be coming out. It's actually, well, think about it this way. So if you want instant access to all my courses, what I'm doing is every Monday, I'll just let the cat out of the bag, is every Monday I'm posting a video that's on a course. And so if you want the free version of that course, then just watch out for my uploads on Monday and you'll be able to see everything else. So the first one is Let's Do Factoring, which is kind of more of like an understanding of the factoring process and really kind of deep understanding. And then the next course I have is kind of more like a review on exponential functions and logarithmic functions. But all those videos are going to be free and available. But then once I have gone through all the upload sections, I am going to put them down as unlisted, and then they will be behind a paywall, because then I will add some resources for people that are looking for a little bit more deeper understanding. Obviously, I have a ton of videos on factoring, a ton of videos on logarithms. So if you're looking for anything just in general, I already have a ton of free videos on that. These are for students that are looking for and more resources than just what's going to come with a YouTube video. So that's why that's why they're behind like the paywall on the YouTube courses side. But for the first, let's just say 8 weeks that they're going to be kind of dripped out, they'll be absolutely free for you guys to go ahead and watch, take a look at, get feedback on. And obviously if there's something I need to adjust with the video or maybe reframe, that's why I kind of want to have that feedback first of all. And then I can make any adjustments as needed. Yeah, that might be true. Well, I mean, I've definitely solved over my channel over 13,000 videos. And I don't know, I'm just addicted to solving more and more problems. That's why I wanted to create this other channel. And I will say in the beginning of the new year, I will be increasing my upload schedule. So I'm happy about that. And then I also have some other channels, but I'm not going to post them down below right now. But I am looking into increasing my uploads on my other channels as well. So I'm excited about that. Yes, that's all right. I'm not sure if you put your name in it, but if I don't get through these 8 videos, just resubmit it for me real quick if you don't mind. No, I don't think calculus is that hard. I mean, it's all relative, right? I mean, it all depends on your previous experience in mathematics and what you've been exposed to, and as well as the teacher that you currently have that is teaching calculus. So, I mean, there's a lot that goes into, is calculus hard or not? But I will just say, I think as a broader concept in the mathematical journey, calculus is not introducing anything that I think is like too hard and above for the normal student to be able to understand. And I think that's actually one of the things that is harmful about our educational system, is that we do not provide enough more students to be able to get to calculus and to understand calculus and to teach and to understand or to learn calculus. And I think that's I think that's a very sad thing, that so many students in this world have never even experienced the beauty of calculus. However, there's a lot of factors that go into it. And, many students or teachers of calculus will say, like, it's not so much the calculus concepts that students struggle with, it's the algebra that they need to know to be successful in calculus. And that's what really hangs up students in being successful with calculus or understanding the concepts. So yeah, but it's going to be dependent on your work up to calculus. And then also, I think, having a great instructor that can really bring calculus to life and who really can help mend those topics together is what's probably more important than anything as far as your ability to be successful in calculus. And so, but I think in general sense, for the majority of students, it's not a boogeyman that sometimes people put it out to be. I'm an IB analysis. Why is this so hard sometimes? Well, I don't know. I've actually never taught IB analysis, but it's an IB course, right? It's not designed to, be there for every single student. I mean, it's going to be a tough course. Anything that's going to have an IB or an AP, right? It's designed for a subset of students to really test them, to really make sure you're meeting these standards. And I think that's great that you're doing it. And I think it's great that you're having difficulties. because that's testing you. That's helping you become a better version of yourself. So don't view the struggles or the difficulty of the course as something bad. That's good. It's making you stretch. It's making you have to work and be a better student than what you were before. So, you know, it's okay to struggle, and just make sure you are, speaking with your teacher, having a study group, having other people for support. But it's okay for courses to be hard. It's okay to struggle. In the end, as you go through it, you're going to be a better version of yourself. And I think that's something really, really good to take away. Even if you don't get an A, even if you don't get a B, you're going to take away some value out of that course. And I think that's really important. Yeah, I was about to say StreamYard. I could not remember it, but thank you. Yeah, I did look into some StreamYard for them. I know a lot of other YouTube creators that use it and like it, and but I don't know. Ecamm has just been so easy and good to me. Then you got to change things over and just learn a whole new system, and it's like, when do I want to do that? But yeah, StreamYard has definitely been one that I know a lot of people have talked highly of. I have a lot of videos on sequences, and actually I think one of the videos submitted was on sequences of series. I have to see where it is. I'm actually going to do one of them. But it's actually been a while since I've gone over sequences series, so I'll have to, as far as like uploading content, I will be getting some of those videos, coming up. It's been a while since I even taught them inside the classroom. So I need to kind of go back from a foundational perspective and work my way up, just like I'm a student. Just like when you're trying to remember things for your final exam, like start at that foundational stuff and work your way up. College students right now, I'm struggling with proofs. Any advice you could offer? Thank you. I love proofs. And I love proofs in college. I didn't like proofs when I was in high school. Even teaching proofs in high school, I don't really like. But I remember when I took my first proofs class in college, that was my first time I started to fall in love with math, because I don't really love just doing math problems and that. But once I got to proofs, I was like, I like this. And you might not share that same affection for proofs, and I understand that. I think the one thing, though, that I found and I noticed with proofs, it's kind of like with word problems. The more kind of examples you do, the more problems you kind of go through, the more kind of relationships that you see, and the easier that they kind of become. The easier you get to take a little bit from this problem, maybe a little bit from that problem, and you just get a better understanding of how to approach the problem and write a good proof for it, or to solve a word problem. So the advice is not something you probably want to hear, but it really just comes into doing some more examples with them. I think that's the more examples that you can do, the more exposure you can get to them, the overall easier it's going to be. But if you're just doing the bare minimum, or if you're kind of avoiding them at best, it's going to be very difficult to get better at them. And I think that's just a simple truth. You're very welcome. No, it's okay. Shoot. Aroff. Now I got to go back and double check. Dang it. Where is it? I don't see your text anymore. Oh, man, it's not saying it. Oh, man, I got to go to like the YouTube side of it. I know I saw it. Oh, now yeah, Aroff. Okay. There you go. Gotcha. Now my younger daughter is yelling at me for this. Well, thank you very much, Dave. And my door's about to open because my daughter is wondering. Daddy! Yes, Ada. Mommy, go forward. Okay. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Okay. I guess my wife, unfortunately, is not feeling very well. So the stream, unfortunately, might have to shorten up. But I promise to you, if I have to cut this live stream short because my wife is sick, then I promise you I will go live. Whatever, 9 o'clock tonight, I will go live. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I will go live and I'll get to these math questions. Gaussian elimination. Yes, Rodish. I do not have any, unfortunately, on there. I never had to teach it. I went through it. That might be something I'll be adding to my channel, though, for sure. What Algebra 1 textbook, online or physical, would you recommend for a homeschooler without a teacher? Also, if I help, would you recommend to watch? You know, I think with any teacher or with any book, it really kind of depends. Like, I don't have any recommendations. I know the Math Sorcerer like goes through some kind of stuff with that on his YouTube channel. I just like I've bought a lot of math textbooks, and some of them I'm like, this doesn't relate to me, and then other ones I'm like, I love this math textbook, and I really do think like I don't love the like your learning style kind of directs things, but I think a lot of it is very true. Like how somebody presents the material in a textbook can like greatly connect with one student and not connect with another. And so I would, I don't know, like libraries really have a good, variety of that. Or where the best thing where you can get like, take a look at a book or text and maybe get some like, um, some feedback from some other homeschoolers of like what they really liked and like maybe see if something you can like test them out and but at least be able to return them. Because yeah, I don't think there's a end all be all for every student that's going to relate. It's kind of like every teacher, right? I'm sure you guys have all had a teacher where you're like, oh, how's that teacher? Like, oh, here's the best teacher in the world. And then you take the teacher and like, I hate that teacher. That teacher sucks, right? Or you might be like, this is my favorite teacher. And then other people are like, why'd you like that student? Yes, Ada. Okay. All right. I am going to here. Know what I'm going to do? I might be right back from this. So, crap. Okay. Let me see. Hey, actually, you guys want to see a video that I actually have not made or I have not published yet? Maybe I'll go ahead and do this. So let me go and see if I can create this video. See if I can upload this for you guys. And you guys can, I'll send this over to you. I got to check in on my wife. So I apologize for this. And then what I'll do is I'll try to show this video and then I'll try to come back. And if I can't come back, I'll have to shut down the live stream. I apologize. But then after that, what I will do is I will make sure I come back on. So let's see if I can, actually, you know what I'll do? So let's just play. But this is a good video that I want you guys to see that I actually have not released yet on my channel. So, not this one. But if you guys want to come back to the stream, go for it. If you want to just watch here on theirs. But I have to go ahead and check in. So come on. There you go. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Why is this not? Oh, there. All right, I am back. No more of that. But hopefully, for any of you that stayed on and watched, let me see how many of you are still on. I can't see. Why did I have my thing? Oh, maybe there's my live stream. I didn't lose every of you. Thank you so much for those of you that were at least came in to watch and enjoy. Hopefully, that was somewhat of a kind of an interesting video for you guys to be able to see. I've actually created it a couple weeks ago, but I have just not released it yet on my channel. And actually, I might, there might be something I'll release going on for this week coming up. But anyways, I already have my math videos. So let me get back to your questions. My wife is sick, so unfortunately, I'm going to try to knock through the rest of the. Oh, you can't hear? Oh, I'm sorry. Dang it. Well, no, I had to step away. I posted it on there and then I had the volume, so I apologize for that, guys. Dang it. Sorry about that. Sorry. Dang it. Yeah, I didn't get to the chat soon enough. Sorry, guys. All right, let me go and see. I thought I played everything on. I guess it wasn't picking it up. All right. There you go. Now I'm back into questions. No longer teach on YouTube. Just teach in, or no longer teach inside the classroom. Just teach on YouTube. But you can only, yeah, I mean, it is difficult. Because I think one of the things you like teachers need to understand is like you're salespeople. Like you got to sell math, you got to sell education, and yeah, it's difficult because everybody, let's say you have a classroom of 30 students. Every 30, of those 30 students are all going through something different. They all come in with different experiences, different motivations, and you have to sell to them a reason to show up in class, a reason to do their work, a reason to put their best foot forward. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. And so I would totally 100% agree with you. But I also think that is the art form of being an educator. The art form of teaching mathematics is showing students the power of what they can achieve by putting in their best foot forward, putting in the work, and doing the best in your class. So yeah, it's a very good difficulty, but then also the ones that do it the best, it's like you want to be able to like preserve that and share that with everybody. And I was by no means anywhere close to being perfect, with my art form of teaching mathematics, but it was always something that I always wanted to perfect year in and year out. And that's why I always returned to the classroom, because I always wanted to get better year in and year out. And I think for any teacher, that's what we always want to be able to see. I don't know. I've had a lot of problems where I spent hours, unfortunately, hours upon hours going back to trying to solve and working through multiple pages, reading through, practicing things and stuff like that. If you have a specific math question, then go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, which went away. Where'd that go? Where are my annotations? Not those. Why did I lose these? No, not that one. There you go. Yeah, sorry about that. I thought I had everything on the volume, so I apologize. How to be successful in math exams. Are only usually mix the topics we study, how to get advanced and get the idea of the question when asked. I mean, I think in general form, like just go above and beyond, but what is expected of you on your exams. And if, don't just take a review or what your teachers provided is like, this is all I need to do. go above and beyond what has been expected of you to prepare for the exams. And I think that's the best thing you can do. Awesome. I would just ask your teacher as many questions as you can to get advice on not only on pre-calculus, maybe on teaching, and whatever else. Like, just become a sponge. Even if you never want to become a educator, or you never want to continue in your mathematical journey, just learn from people. And I think that's a very underrated skill that people don't realize. Like, the more skills that you can absorb along your journey, the more in demand you are. And so I think that's really, really powerful, just to learn from other people, learn from their experiences, learn from their craft. And as you can develop your own skills and take from those experiences, you just become a more valuable person into the marketplace. If that's you getting a job, or you starting your own business, or you charting your own path. But I would just become curious on how people came to where they are, how they view the world, how they view, their own craft, and what you can take away from that. What you want to say, yeah, I think what you're doing here is really, really powerful, and adapt it to your own needs. I think I forget to show them to my students. It definitely helps. Well, thank you so much, Russell. I appreciate that. Complex word problems. I mean, it's just like with any word problem. Actually, that's going to be a course that's going to be coming up furthermore. But yeah, I mean, just like with any word problem, it's all about breaking it down into those most essential elements, taking out what you're trying to find, taking out what the question is, identifying that unknown, and then creating those equations, solving it, and then making sure it matches up, with the actual answer or what you're trying to identify. My last Q&A. Okay, cool. You inspired me, and I did my mock. I was able to get a 5. Well, awesome. Thanks, McLogan. How do I hit a 9 now? Well, I don't know where you were and how you would to get to a 5, but obviously something was working. Double down on it, right? And there's that one one saying, like, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? If you're seeing something that's working, continue doing more of it. And I think that's something really important that you should look into. It's like understanding what works for you, and what works for you is not always going to work for somebody else. But if you can understand what you resonate with, what you can continuously do in a consistent manner, and you can you can follow through on, then just continue doing more of it. It might not be the same process that I say on a live stream or that somebody else follows. But if you find a way that is successful for you, and it works for you, then put more effort into it. Throw them in there. Oh, well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Hold on. Let me knock this back out. Oh, I didn't mean to go from there, but hold on. I have to just get a piece of paper. Dang it. I had this video. I was going to do this problem. I actually worked through it, but I'll try to see if I can go back through it on memory. All right. I have a sick wife, unfortunately, but she was okay with allowing me to continue on this live stream. She's like, it's okay. Just finish your live stream. I just threw up in the toilet. So thank you guys for understanding on that. I'm so sorry. I thought you guys could hear, because it was all on playback. So, but whatever else. All right. But now what I'm going to try to do is go through. Come on. How do I get back into There we go. Now I'm back. Okay. So these are some questions that were submitted. I will try to, I don't think I have the form up. So if you submitted a form today, I'll try to see if I can get to you guys. But either way, if you have any more major questions, feel free to add them down in the chat. I can still see them right now as they're coming up, so don't spam. But if you have any math questions, then go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, and let's get into some of these problems. So this example is arc sine of 3 halves. So one thing I always tell my students is, like, rather than always understanding a lot of time that sine and arc sine are inverses of each other, so they just undo each other. What I always tell students is, especially when you see this 3 halves, is just to draw the triangle. And so if I draw this triangle here, you would see opposite over hypotenuse, 3 halves, right? Because a lot of students will say, oh, these are inverses of each other, so the answer is 3 halves. Well, unfortunately, it's not, because if you draw a triangle based on the arc sine of 3 halves, you recognize that cannot actually be a value of a right triangle, because remember, the hypotenuse is always going to be larger than the opposite side. So therefore, this one is going to have a no solution, right? Because the hypotenuse always have to be larger than the opposite side. So just be careful of that. We get familiar with those sine, arc cosines, and stuff like that, where we're easy to cancel them out. But there's a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with that arc cosine, if it's not in the correct domain, that we can have some issues for that. All right, the next one is graph 5 cosine of 2x plus 6 plus 3. The first thing I like to do in a problem like this is make sure I factor out this 2. So I have a 5 cosine of a 2, x plus 3 plus 3. Then what I want to do is go ahead and identify the parts of the cosine function. So I have the amplitude, which is the absolute value of a, which in this case is going to be 5. So the absolute value of 5 is just going to be 5. I have the period, which is going to be 2 pi divided by b, where b is my coefficient of this x. So that's going to be 2 pi divided by AB, so 2, which is equal to a pi. If I'm going to graph it, I think this is what the student wanted. So therefore, if I'm going to graph it, I'm going to want to go ahead and find my x scale, which is just going to be my pi, or my period, divided by 4. So that'd be pi divided by 4. And then I recognize I'm going to be shifting 3 units to the left and 3 units up, right? So my phase shift is going to be 3 to the left, and my vertical shift is going to be 3 up. All right, so let's understand the initial period of cosine. The initial period of cosine looks like this, where it goes up to 1, down to -1, has a minimum at pi, a intercept at pi halves, another intercept at 3 pi halves, and completes a period and a maximum point at 2 pi. Let me move this down. Where's my part? There you go. So this one, though, we don't have a starting point at yes, I did, but it's not going to be posted for a while from on there. But yes, I did. So anyways, on this one, the 5 cosine of 2x plus 3, if I was going to graph this, what I would do is I'm just going to take this initial period. Even though this graph goes to the left and goes to the right infinite many times, I'm going to go ahead and find the starting point. And the starting point for the initial cosine graph is going to be at 0, right? However, whenever I have transformations, what I do is I take whatever's inside of my function, this 2x plus 6, and I set it equal to 0. Now I go ahead and solve for x, and you can see that x is going to equal a -3. So rather than starting at 0, right, that's exactly where this will start, I'm now going to start at -3. Furthermore, I'm not going to try to graph this on the same set of axes. It just kind of gets too confusing in my sense. So this x value is going to be at -3. Where it gets confusing, though, is my x scale is now going to be -3 plus pi over 4. This next one is going to be -3 plus 2 pi over 4, which is going to be pi halves. This one is going to be -3 plus 3 pi over 4. And this one is going to be a -3 plus 4 pi over 4, which is just going to be pi. Now, if you recognize this, that's actually going to be a positive value because pi is like 3.14, right? So you could probably say like 0 is like right there if you're just kind of interested on that. So I don't really like the scaling. That's kind of confusing, but I don't want to convert things to decimals. Now, the next thing is what I like to do when I'm dealing with the vertical transformation. So whenever I have a vertical transformation for the cosine or sine graph, what I like to do is I like to draw a horizontal line. So right now you can see there's kind of this vertical set of symmetry at y equals 0. If I'm going to shift the graph up 3 units, that means that horizontal symmetry is also going to be up 3 units. Now, what occurs on this horizontal symmetry? Well, that's where the asymptotes are, ladies and gentlemen, right? So therefore, my asymptotes are being shifted up 3 units, so they're still going to occur here, and they're still going to occur there. The next thing we need to understand is rather than the graph going up 1, right, and then going down 1, that's going to be telling for my amplitude. So everything got shifted up 3 units, but now it's going to be going up 5 and down 5 because that's what the amplitude represents, the half distance between the max and the min. So from this point 3, I'm going to go up 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be my new max. And then for my minimum, I need to go down 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be at a -2. So now, and then this one would be right back up there. So now if I was to graph this on a separate set of axes, it would look something like this. But you can see this graph as being vertical stretch. That's what that amplitude does. It's actually going to be compressed because instead of the period being pi, the period is now actually being 2 pi. Instead of the period being 2 pi, it's actually being condensed down to pi. So that's why these scales are much sharper. You can see that this is just over a pi that we're starting at, like that distance, whereas this is representing 2 pi. So it's not really ideal the way that I graphed it, but that would be the exact process that I'd go through for graphing a function like that. All right, Andy goes northwest for 24 kilometers, then goes northeast for 13 kilometers, goes southwest for 51 kilometers, and goes southeast for 51 kilometers, and then goes southwest for 49 kilometers. How far is he from now his original position? Okay. So what I always like to do, what I always tell students when I'm doing a problem like this is let's have a starting point. Okay, so we're dealing with some bearings. So we need to have our north, east, south, and west kind of like defined. So I'm just going to start Andy from right here. All right, so we have our north, east, our south, and our west. So first one, Andy goes northwest. So it's going to be northwest 24 kilometers. All right, so let's just say that's to there. So I'll say that distance is 24. Now, if we're going to be going with this northwest, I'm assuming this is cutting this into 45 degrees. All right, so everything up there is going to be a 45-degree angle. Then it's going to go northeast 13 kilometers. So what that means is we now need to create a new bearing. So I'm going to now create a new northwest or cardinal direction. And then we're going to do that for 13. So I'll say, all right, well now this is going to be 13. Then he's going to go southeast for 51. So again, I'm going to create another cardinal direction and say, all right, now he's going southeast for 51. 51 kilometers. So we'll say this is going to be 51 and then go southwest for 49 again. Okay. So then it's going to be southwest for 41. I'm trying to do my best here, but at least I'm kind of understanding 24, 13, 51. I could probably go a little bit farther down, whatever. I'm not trying to be perfect here. I'm just trying to get an understanding of where things are going. I could probably do this 51 much longer, right? All right. But I think the important thing that I want you guys to understand is that each of these have an angle of theta, which is going to be a 45. I don't know why I wrote that as theta. I'm just going to use 45. So we could say that's 45. And again, if the other one angle is 45, then we know the other one's 45, right? Okay, so if this is 45 and we know our hypotenuse for each of these triangles is going to be, each of these triangles is, hypotenuse is going to be 24. Let's go and label these lengths. So we have x1, and we'll call this y1. And then over here, we can create a right triangle. I'll call this x2, and I'll call this y2. Then over here, that's not what I wanted. I'll call this x3, and I'll call this y4. And then over here, I'll create another triangle, and I'll call this y5 and x5. So let's go through the relationships. Let's go through relationships for each of these. So x1, if I want to find this, I know this length is 24, right? So I would be able to write this out of x1, or so I could say the sine of, I always hate how that does that, 45 degrees is equal to my, not sine, I need to do cosine, right? That's cosine. That's the adjacent side. I could say the cosine of 45 degrees is equal to x1 over 24. So x1 equals a 24 cosine of 45 degrees. Now we do know what cosine of 45 degrees is, right? That's going to be square root of 2 over 2. So if 24, that is going to be square root of 2 over 2, then that's going to be x1 is equal to a 12 square root of 2. Now let's go into our x2. x2 is going to be the cosine of 43 degrees is going to be x2 over 13. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, we can kind of go through this. Like if we know, then simply to go ahead and solve for this, all I'm going to do is take my hypotenuse and multiply by the cosine of 14. So that's going to be a 13 times the square root of 2 over 2. And then my x3 is going to be, cosine of 13 is going to be opposite or adjacent. So that's going to be 51 times square root of 2 over 2. So 51 times the square root of 2 over 2. And then I have x to the 4th. And why did I get to 5? That's x to the 4th. X to the 4th is going to be, that's a 49. So if that's 45 degrees, then I know that's 45 degrees. Oh, shoot. That is going to be cosine. X to the 4th, I will be dealing with a sine. So that is going to be a 49 degrees times a sine of square root of 2 over 2. Right? Because this one is going to be adjacent, but this one is the opposite. You can see this x to the 4th is on the opposite side. Whereas here, my x1, my x2 is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, right? This one is adjacent over hypotenuse, but this one is going to be opposite or adjacent. So I think the question was, how far is he now from his original position? So basically what you want to be able to do is we want to be able to identify what are all the x positions. So what is going to be our x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. And that's going to give us an x value from on there. So let's go ahead and figure that out. So I guess I'm going to have to save this. So 12 square root of 2 plus a 13 square root of 2. And then again, that's going to be divided by 2 plus a 51 square root of 2 divided by 2 plus a 49 sine, or 49 square root of 2 divided by 2. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save this, but I'm getting a 96.87. So I'm actually going to save this as a math fraction, or no, shoot. Store that value. And I'm going to store it. Are you serious? Stupid calculator. Shoot. So I typed it all in and then I erased it. So it's like the most annoying thing possible. So divided by 2 plus a 51 square root of 2. All right. This is why I always hate these live streams. I always make my stupid mistakes. So I'm going to try this one more time. 12 square root of 2 plus a 13 square root of 2. But then that is divided by 2. Plus a 51 square root of 2 divided by 2 plus a 49 sine of square root of 2 divided by 2. No, sine of 45 is, so it's a 49. I'm an idiot. So 49 square root of 2 divided by 2. All right, so with all those added up, this is what I'm getting. And I'm going to store this as alpha A. Okay, so this is all coming into a 96.87362902. All right, which is going to be a positive value. Now let's go and see what the y value is going to be. So if I wanted to find y1, y1 is going to be y1 would be, that's going to be a sine, right? So it'd be sine of 45 degrees equals opposite over 24, opposite, or y1 over 24. So let's rewrite that. Let me show you this expression here real quick. So I could say the sine of 45 degrees is equal to y1 over 24. So then I can say y1 is equal to 24 times the sine of 45 degrees. And again, we know square root of sine of 45 degrees is square root of 2 over 2. So y1 equals a 24 times square root of 2 over 2. So y1 is equal to a 12 square root of 2. So all I'm simply going to do is going to be multiplying my hypotenuse times the sine of my 45 degrees here. So in this case, again, I'm going to be looking for the sine for y2. So y2 is going to be a 13 times the square root of 2 over 2. Y3, and this would be y4. So y3 is again going to be an opposite. So it's going to be a 51 times the square root of 2 over 2. And then I have my y4. In this case, it's going to be a cosine. So y4 is going to be 49 times square root of 2 over 2. All right. So let's go and add up all my y's. So now I have a 12 square root 12 square root of 2 plus a 13 square root of 2 divided by 2 plus a 51. It actually doesn't matter. Square root of 2 divided by 2 plus a 49 square root of 2 divided by 2. Oh my God. I'm such an idiot. I'm going to go back over and do this problem again. I did this problem originally, and I'm such an idiot for this. Why didn't I think about this? Ladies and gentlemen, you got to go in through your positive and negative directions. I'm sorry, guys. I've been thinking about too many things. My mother-in-law just came over, so I'm not going to waste your time anymore on this. You got to understand on this problem, what is going to be your positive and your negative values. X1 is negative. Y1 is positive, right? X2, again, is in the positive direction. Y2, again, is in the positive direction. X3, I'm sorry, X2 is actually in the negative direction. You're actually going, sorry, yeah, that's negative. That's positive. X3 is positive. Y3 is negative. In this case, Y4 is negative and X to the 4 is negative. I cannot believe I made that mistake. So I'm actually going to redo this problem on the next live stream. I will probably tell you guys I'll be there. I'll probably go back and redo this for next. Actually, I don't know. Maybe on next week. I can't believe I made that mistake. I literally just did this problem. But either way, this is what happens when I try to go back through and then my wife gets sick. So I do apologize for this. I don't think anything has been right on this live stream. So I'm just going to take it as for what it is, chalk it up as a loss. Thank you so much for joining. I hope for those of you that are celebrating Christmas, you guys have a Merry Christmas. I'll look into getting back to another live stream back into the new year. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. I was not thinking straight. So thank you again for joining in, and I'll see you guys into New Year. Cheers.